Thank goodness we say with tears in our eyes, it's Friday. This is the week that was. I'm Giulietta Talevi, my co-host is Simon Brown, and joining us for the next 24 minutes of hardcore ranting are Sasfin, Securities, David Shapiro and Vestact's Khumalo. Gents, welcome. We dressed up for today's show. Simon has got on a particularly ugly tie today.
No.
That's because
That's a lovely tie.
The tie's about as old as you. Brad, okay, I got no taste.
Maybe to detract from the performance of the JSE this week, which was all over the place, really. Bright, start with you this week.
Yeah, I don't know, where should I start? In the US, basically, S&P 500 up about 7.4%, NASDAQ up 9%. I can't complain. It's been a rather boring week in terms of performance, but I mean, it's still, we're on the tail end of earnings. So we saw the likes of Snowflake, tanking, and other businesses doing much better than Snowflake. So it's been a mixed bag.
I don't even know what Snowflake is.
Snowflake. It's a IT company. It's a software business.
It's cloud business.
It's a cloud data store.
But on the
Snowflake.
JSE, you have to say. I mean,
Warren Buffett owns Snowflake, by the way.
Oh, okay. We shall get to the results in the second segment, but there was a plethora of numbers. But the JSE just felt like from one day to the next, it did well, then it retreated. It just...
if you go through the results one by one, you can't go through everything. It's almost impossible. But you're starting to get a really negative trend.
Yeah.
And it's coming through one after the other. Let's even ignore the commodity companies, which are, call it foreign-based, or based on falling commodity prices. But locally, our companies are now starting to take the strain of all the negative infrastructure issues that have been building
including
up.
MTN.
Yeah, well, MTN's Nigeria.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen that Naira devaluation. Like, the market's surprised. Come on, guys. Like, really, it's their key market.
But they didn't expect the impact to be that much on quote-unquote diversified MTN's numbers.
Yeah, that's because they didn't run the numbers. So PCE came out yesterday, kind of smack on
lukewarm.
The Goldilocks number.
It's in line, So I think we can live. You've got to adjust your head to saying, okay, interest rates are not going to come down soon; they'll come down later.
Those numbers are cooked, man. There's no ways you get exactly what you want.
Yeah, but we did.
but I think you've got to get out of that kind of mindset. What companies can survive? Let's buy those kind of businesses. Who's doing well? Let's do that. Stop trying to concern yourself with what happens.
Stop chasing PCE.
And you're never going to get it right.
Yeah. And in a year's time, it will all be moot. Rates will be low. What didn't happen this week? Not much. Sasfin and the taxman are not friends. The ANC and the EFF are beating each other up in council. Roger Dardine has been battered by grim political reality. Vodacom is in full fighting mode. Canal Plus has got to put up, and then there were about a gazillion results. Some hitmen in the dock, and the best court decision we've heard in years. But first, Eskom's new CEO starts today. May blessings rain down on him and his dwindling coal fleet. Transnet also got a CEO, but we poor blighted souls still have Praveen and his obsession with SAA. More's the pity, can SOEs catch a break? Let's start with Transnet.
No comment.
Well,
I'm not commenting either because I like Porsche Derby, so...
Well, Transnet, unfortunately, shouldn't have had Porsche Derby because that was a disaster. Michelle Phillips has been she's a long-standing operative. She seems to have good cred.
She's just got to put on those overalls. And what a tapiologist do, go around and knock on the wheels of all the trains and just make sure that they're running. That's all we need. There's a massive amount of repair that's needed to be done to all the lines, to the repairs, to the switches and everything. But we got to do it.
It's not. I don't think the issue is that. Like, we have engineers in South Africa. We have a lot of talent. The issue is the meddling. The people that don't know how to do stuff, telling people how to do their jobs. And as long as they're in power, Transnet is going to be like this.
And that's the problem. You might have the right person, the best person for the job, and they might just be...
And you might frustrate them out of the job.
They might be unable to execute.
Or you retrench them, which is what
they've been doing. Exactly.
But you're coming back to the concerns about the ANC staying in power, because those levels are going to remain there all the way. And that's what Bright's saying. We've got to get rid of them. You know, you just have to have a clean sweep if you're going to get the Michelle Phillips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
she
so,
was,
yes.
wasn't she the mamas and the papas?
You're not that old.
Different Michelle Phillips. I'm not sure the
That's
mamas
actually
and papas would translate well to a job at Translate. But you know,
You
same.
don't know the mamas and the
I
papas?
do know.
I'm sure
You know,
it was
California
Michelle
dreaming.
Phillips. Yeah.
Anyway, the point is exactly as you say. You've got what's it, Dan Murakami stepping in at Eskom. If he doesn't have the support of the board and the shareholder, then it's
Pointless.
It's Andre de Ruyter all over again. But then the shareholder representative is Pravin. And I'm sorry to say that the portfolio under his watch has absolutely cratered. And look at his performance with regards to SAA this week.
He's been in the business, I think, longer as McConnell. You know, Mitch McConnell's finally retiring. You think we could get rid of Pravin as well?
Well, lists come out in a few weeks. Maybe he won't be on a list.
Retirement age is 60.
Not
And
if
that
you-
was set by
not
them.
Not if you're a politician.
Yes, exactly.
Retirement age is death plus 10 years. I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. It's death plus, that bloke's been dead a decade, and he's still there.
Anyway, speaking of catching a break, Sasfin is going to need something special after one hell of an opening salvo from the taxman, who incidentally has another 2 years in the job. Got a few dodgy employees washing money, then pay us the tax we lost, seems to be the argument.
We all
let's-
watched the
let's ask-
documentary.
Let's be bright about this first.
No, we all watched the documentary. We spoke about it on
Yeah.
the show last year. I mean, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. What is it? What is it called?
Gold Mafia.
Gold Mafia. There you go. What an incredible thing. So I was surprised that after we all watched, the documentary, nothing happened. So clearly there was someone in the background doing something, obviously on South African time. Hence why we're here with SARS. So kudos to them for following up on that. But I don't know how they got to the number.
Well, they claim that money got washed or whatever.
Yeah, but how? But remember, tax is a fraction of the sales or foregone sales.
Well, but then there's
So-
penalties and interest. And
Well, just break it down for us so we understand a bit what's
I
going
shouldn't
on.
really comment, but I think
No, but we all want you to.
you will wade in.
I think what Sasfin obviously has gone to top lawyers. Even Paulie van Wyk in her as Scorpio, her lawyer, she went there and consulted, having written an article and said it's an uphill battle for SARS to prove this. Now, I don't know enough about delict to answer this, but wherever we've gone to tax lawyers, I don't know what their motivation is, because they're not withdrawing it. And I think what they might be trying to do, and this is me personally talking, not Sasfin, is that they want to establish delict so that they can go for everybody in the world that has committed some kind of crime.
No, but delict
and
is wrong done against someone or a person.
Well,
but
yeah.
the
I
person
don't
that's
think we
done
should get
wrong.
into the-
But the
into the
person who's done
discussion.
wrong here is Sasfin.
Well, you
not the
can't
other
say
way
that.
around.
It was people at Sasfin.
With people the problem is you win the case, it takes 10 years. It's like
Yeah.
that's the bigger challenge.
But also the problem is
Piercing the corporate veil then. Let's go.
Well, you can't. You can't. It means every Eskom. Are you going to go for people at Eskom? Are you going to go for people at SARS? I mean, at Transnet, are you going to go for people there? Throughout the country, we live in a country where corruption is rife at every level. And it's easy to do the kind of things that you do here.
Yeah.
Because it's set by the government, right from the government at
You know
top
what?
right down to the bottom.
I'm a capitalist, but the argument is always, politicians are corrupt, blah blah blah. When it's corrupt on the other end, on the private sector, we should also take it.
They
It's
had-
always pointing fingers at them.
They had to bribe somebody.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. We should take it as much as we give it.
pragmatically, a 4 billion rand fine on an institution that has a 700 million rand market cap, whose assets are, the assets of its customers, that surely has no chance. I mean, that puts Sasfin out of business. Is that what you
I don't know. This is this.
Or is this just,
Well,
we
it's a bank.
start high and we negotiate down?
No, I was about to say we're doing exactly what we did with MTN in Nigeria here, because I mean the amount, the quantum of it makes absolutely no sense. You've mentioned the
that
market
$5.5
caps.
billion.
Exactly. So I don't know. We're starting. We became
But
basically becoming them.
I think
But
for us
eventually
to
we'll end
discuss
around
it, one
200.
has to know a lot more about the people involved and what was involved in the bribery. Because,
SARS knows nothing.
yeah,
SARS knows as much as we do from
Watching the
From the
video.
Al Jazeera. From the Al Jazeera.
So they watch the video as well. Well, speaking of legal battles, Vodacom isn't taking the Supreme Court of Appeal lying down. Oh no, not when it says the court borders are unintelligible, incomprehensible, and for good measure, vague. They also said things like no one's going to do business in this country and stuff like that. It goes back to Vodacom just write a check, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't just write a check for 8 billion rand or something.
No, but
19
negotiate.
billion rand.
The thing is, it's crazy because it also compounds against them the longer they push they push it down. So I don't know.
But 47
at some
was
point you're gonna have to write a check. So write something.
And 47 was not the number. So
No, 47 is like put my thingy on the table and cut it off. That's definitely not it. We all know that.
Put which thing on the table?
no,
Doesn't matter. Finger, sorry.
he meant finger.
They haven't made any kind of provision for this, Vodacom. Have they?
No, because they thought their deal is it's
And
47
now you've got the
million.
Constitutional Court hoping going to act in your favour, and if they don't, we're going to get another MTN. Another Sasfin.
Yeah, okay.
Meanwhile, in South Africa's own toxic political swamp, the EFF thugs are gonna thug. Rogers' change stops now, and the ANC machine can still draw a crowd even if it can't write a manifesto grounded in reality. Here's Chief Puff Toad himself, Cyril Ramaphosa.
The first democratic elections of 1994 was a turning point in our country's history, demonstrating our shared commitment to nation building, to freedom, to social justice, and to the respect for human rights and democracy. Together we ended centuries of colonial and apartheid rule. We ended 342 years of colonial rule, misrule, oppression, dispossession, and everything that you can imagine.
I don't
It's
know.
not wrong they ended it, but then they did nothing.
No.
I
don't
did
think.
worse than nothing.
I don't know if they really ended it. I mean, he's in KZN, KwaZulu Natal. Wow. For those who don't know, 99.9% of the people in the crowd are Zulu, but he's speaking in the colonial language. So talk about tech. There's zero tech there whatsoever. I watched the whole thing, by the way.
Yo, better man than me.
I don't know, man. It was.
So I read the EFF manifesto.
Did you read my tweets? I put tweets out about it.
I read the EFF manifesto. They want non-South African boats to undock at sea, which is all the boats. But I want to go to Roger Jardine, and change starts now. He suddenly 3 months in realized that politics is hard. I thought that he had given up because he couldn't win, and I was so respectful because after last week I went and read it just turns out that politics is hard, and he's going back to spend time with his money.
That's
He pulled out the race.
Yeah. Close down. After the break, a bumper sense hall, and can you say Yamasa? Yes, you can.